How do you hide money in prison? He opens the back of a toothpaste tube, squeezes out all the paste, washes the inside clean with water, hides the money inside, then fills it back up with sand, finally seals it shut again, and places it right out in the open. This is the safest way to hide money. It's Mark's escape fund for his prison break. From the very first day behind bars, he was planning his escape, and not just any escape, one that everyone thought was impossible. Late at night, Mark presses a blank piece of paper over the keyhole to trace its outline, then uses a pencil to sketch out the shape. He rolls the paper up and sticks it into the keyhole, then presses the pencil against the bottom. After rubbing it repeatedly, he pulls out the paper roll. The creases show the depth of the keyhole, which tells him the length the key needs to be. Next step, figure out the shape of the key. During the day, he uses every chance to get close to the guards, carefully observing the shape of their keys. At night, he sketches out the keys' notches on paper. Mark spends an entire week doing this, constantly observing and tracing, making small changes over and over again, until he finally has a blueprint he's satisfied with. But what material can he use to make the key? In prison, the thing he has the most access to is wood. They're required to do labor in the prison's woodshop, so he uses this opportunity to secretly grab the wooden strips he needs, planning to hide them in the bottom of his thermos. But every day after work, the guards check everyone's thermos. They knock it twice by the sink, then dump out the coffee inside, to prevent anyone from sneaking things out. When it's Mark's turn, the guard notices he looks a bit too nervous, so he gets extra thorough with the check, not only knocking it more than usual, but also shaking the thermos hard. But the guard finds nothing unusual. Turns out Mark had planned for this. He had stuffed a towel inside the thermos. Now that everything is ready, he begins making the key. Mark is meticulous. He even sands down the burrs left by the hacksaw, then glues on the key handle, and places it inside a lampshade to dry, to speed up the glue curing. Finally, he carefully files the key's notches to match the blueprint, and ends up with a key he's pretty happy with. Mark can't wait to test it out. As he slowly turns it, the key actually works. There's a slight catch midway, but it doesn't affect the final result. However, the next door is even tougher. The second heavy iron door must be opened from the outside. Using the same method as before, he quickly makes the second key. One day during a group work session, Mark tests the second key. After a few adjustments and filing, he successfully unlocks the door. But even though the key is ready, opening the door from the outside is another problem. A friend comes up with an idea. Run a string from across the hallway to insert the key into the keyhole. But Mark quickly shoots that down. There's no way to apply enough force to turn the key. That's when George notices a mop nearby, and suddenly has an idea. They could stick the mop out the window. Its length is just enough to reach the key. But how would they turn the key? One day while working in the woodshop, Mark sees an inmate turning the crank on a lathe, and suddenly a bold idea pops into his head.